today I'm going to show you how I'm able to make a planting pot from old recycled fence panels. So as you can see here, I've managed to take out all my fence panels all the way down to the end of my garden. And this here is all what's left, and the concrete posts that were in the ground. And they were some big heavy concrete posts. So how I was able to recycle my garden fence was simply by removing the panels like so, and then the wood behind it, which the wooden panels was actually screwed onto, I was measuring out a distance in which I knew that I wanted my plant pots. In this case it was 60 mil. So what I was doing then was marking it with a pencil, using a straight edge to make sure the edges were nice and square, and then I was using my saw to cut it to the right size. And because I was doing this by hand, not all the cuts were going to be nice and straight, so I was just doing the best I can to make these pots. And then you're left with the actual size cut that I wanted, which is 60 mil. So some of the wood I wasn't able to cut along the fences, so what I've done is I removed it all completely from the fences, so I'm able to cut it while I was like this. It's the same concept again really. The simple measure your measurement, which now I want it 40 centimeters. Mark it up, straight edge it so you've got a nice clean mark, and then get cutting. Hey, like that. It is quite a manual job and it does take a lot of time to do, but it'll be worth it in the end when the plant pots are made. Right, so now that we've got all our planks, what we want to do now is sand it. Now, we can sand this all by hand if we wanted to, but it's going to take a long time. But luckily for me, where I've been doing some stuff in the house, I did buy myself an electric sander, so it's going to make the job a little bit more easier and quicker. The reason why I want to sand these bad boys down is not only to get rid of all the green stain on it and all the imperfections where I've been cutting it, I also want to make it so it's more resistant, because I'm going to be using it as a grow bed and I don't want it rotting out within the first couple of years of using it. I want the bed to last a little bit longer than a couple of years. So I'm going to have to sand this down as best I can, and then we'll be ready then to basically build it up. So if you compare these two now, you can see how well this is sanded. So this should be better for absorbing the paint that we want to use. But yeah, look at the state of this one. So this one needs a really good sanding. So the sandpaper I'm using for this is P40. Quite rough, to be fair. Alright, so that is all the sanding done. And so I'm left with 16 planks of wood that are 60 centimeters long, and 4 planks of wood which are 40 centimeters long. Basically, the reason why I've got these ones, the 40 centimeter ones, is so it should go across that quite nicely. So each one of these are 10 centimeters wide. So when we put 4 of these together, it should be the same length as this 40 centimeter one. Right, so now we're just going to have to put them together. So the tools I'm going to be using for this is a drill with a drill bit that I'm going to be able to basically drill through the wood first to try and make a guide hole. Because if you're using screws, what can tend to happen is it can end up splitting the wood when the screws go in. So it's always good to do a little guide hole so it stops the wood from splitting. And the screws I've gone with are 75 mil in width. Because here's a demonstration of the one I made before, and as you can see, the screw doesn't go all the way through. So you can't accidentally get cut by the screw if you was to put your hands in the pot. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a 40 mil one and a 60 mil one. Try and line that up as best I can. I'm going to put 2 guide holes in. So, put our screws in. Like that. Double check that it's straight, which it is. Right, the next one in. Like that. Now, what we're going to do is put the next ones in. Away. And same again, just line them up as best you can, then drill 2 holes and then screw it down. So now we do this until we've got all 4 panels attached to this one bit of wood. So there we go, we've got 4 bits of wood on a nice rail. But what we're going to do is now add another 40mm to this side now. So then this will be one whole side of our bed. Right, so this is the first side that we've done. What we're going to do now is do exactly the same thing to make the second side. Alright, so now we've got both our sides. Now it's the fun part of adding the stuff in between. One of the ways we can do this is laying this up in the air, putting this on top, and then doing the same thing again. I recommend putting about 3 screws in here now because it's going into a different bit of wood, so it needs a bit more strength. So we just do the same, we try and line it up as best we can, and then start drilling. Right, now that this one is now attached, what we can do is then attach it to the other side. Right, so now this is looking like this. What we can do is now put the rest of the boards along here, and then that is 3 sides done, and then we can flip it over. Alright, so that's 3 sides done. Now, onto the last side. So there we have it, it is finally done. It took a lot of effort, to be honest with you, but we've got it into a good stage now, where all it needs is a bit of paint, and then we can put it into our garden, and then start growing stuff out of it. As you can see, I'm not a carpenter. A lot of the cuts aren't straight, and it's because obviously I ain't got no power tools, and I'm not doing it properly. I'm only doing it because it's just recycled stuff in my back garden, and I'm able to make some good pots out of it. Hopefully this gives you ideas on how you can do stuff at your house as well, in order to save yourself some money and make yourself some good raised garden beds. Yes, I hope you guys did enjoy.